introduction, but can I just ask everyone to get up and just calm down? Because one thing that I think has really been missing from today is just kind of energy and, everyone just kind of slouched back in their seats. So just get up, come down. I think one of the most special things about TED or just being at a TED event is really just being here and being in the now. So if you could just come down, if someone brave soul can just ask everyone who's outside to come on down, that would be great. And I'll just let everyone talk and kind of be jolly and merry while this happens. And fill in lots of space. Don't mind my cough. Oh, I don't know my life.
Sorry?
You guys over here, you want to move in? There's some blank, empty seats. I can see as a speaker where the empty spaces are.
I have another topic in mind, the importance of political intellectuals.
It's a stage they want to be from. I think they will work. That's why people were mostly in the middle.
Right.
And she's a filmmaker. She should know that we would all want to be at the back for watching her stuff on the screen.
Okay, so thanks again for being here. I think it's a real gift to be at a TED event. I think it's a real gift for me to be in Delhi and Gurgaon. I usually don't come this side and happen to be working on an interesting project, which I'm going to speak about, which brings me here and brings me here today as well. So I think one of the greatest things that can happen from a TED event is actually what happens to the right and left of you. So make sure to introduce yourself to everybody who's around you, because I think that is actually how this conference continues beyond just right now. So with that in mind, I'll go on to what I'm going to talk about, and I've actually planned that. And so yeah, anyway. So these days I'm working on a short documentary project where I'm following about 20 teenage girls in Delhi and in Bombay, and we're trying to get a sense of what is really going on in their lives. The program that we're working with aims to empower girls through life skills education and sports. And we're trying to capture the program's impact as well as trying to understand how these girls perceive themselves. This project is especially close to me because sports and athletics have long been a part of who I am. And I really think that life skills education is also kind of one of the hot topics that's continued to come up today. So with all that in mind, I'm just going to share a little bit of a clip of what we've done so far. We shot this about a couple months ago. And after that, I'll talk about how it's made me feel.
मेरा नाम प्रीति भारद्वाज है। मैं 15 साल की हूँ। मैं 10th क्लास में पढ़ती हूँ। मैं टीचर बनना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि मुझे टीचिंग का बहुत शौक है।
माय नेम इज़ ममता। मैं बड़े होकर पुलिस वाली बनना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि आजकल जो लड़कियों के साथ जो अत्याचार हो रहे हैं, अगर वो कुछ कंप्लेंट लेके जाते हैं तो पुलिस वाले भी ऐसे ही टाल देते हैं उस बात को। लेकिन मैं चाहती हूँ कि मैं उनकी कंप्लेंट को दर्ज करूँ और उनके जो भी उनकी प्रॉब्लम है उनको सॉल्व करना चाहती हूँ मैं।
मेरा नाम नेहा चंद्रा है। मुझे खेलना अच्छा लगता है और खाना बनाना अच्छा लगता है और घर में साफ सफाई करना अच्छा लगता है। मम्मी का ये सपना है कि मैं बड़े होकर पापा की तरह बनना चाहूँ।
मेरा नाम खुशबू है। मैं दीपाला स्कूल संजय कॉलोनी ऑफ क्लास फेस्ट में पढ़ती हूँ। हम लड़कों से कम नहीं है, कुछ जो लड़के कर सकते हैं हम भी कर सकते हैं। लड़कियों की तो जल्दी शादी होती है, 18-19 साल में शादी हो जाती है। वो अपने ससुराल वालों को देखे और उनको मतलब घर में संभाले।
मेरा नाम पूजा शर्मा है। मैं अच्छी दोस्त हूँ और मैं शायद अच्छा गाना गा लेती हूँ। लड़कियों की जिम्मेदारियाँ होती हैं कि वो अपने पेरेंट्स को खुशी दें। आज के टाइम में कोई भी पेरेंट्स नहीं चाहता कि उनकी बेटी हो, क्योंकि लड़कियां कुछ गलत काम कर लेती हैं और इसलिए मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उन्हें ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए।
मेरा नाम नेहा चौधरी है। मेरी उम्र 15 साल है। मैं अपने पैरों पे खड़ा होना चाहती हूँ। मुझे कभी कभी होता है मैं पापा को कितना दुख दे रही हूँ। मुझे अपने आप पे दुख होता है, जो मैं बेटी हुई तो मेरे पापा को कितना दुख हो रहा है, मैं बेटा होती तो कितना अच्छा होता। मेरे जो गाँव में है ना, वहाँ पे औरतों पर अत्याचार होता है, जो जला के मार देते हैं। मैं उन्हें इंसाफ दिलाना चाहती हूँ। मैं आगे जाकर मैं बहुत नाम कमाऊँगी, सबसे बड़ी वकील बनूँगी मैं।
So these interviews have been really eye-opening for me. I've long known that girls around the world feel pressure. But the way that pressure manifests itself into action or emotional stress is really fascinating. Oops.
Your mic went off.
My mic went off. Now it's on. Did you guys hear what I just said? All right. So if I were to ask these same set of questions to American teenage girls or middle-class girls in Bombay or Delhi, my guess is that if I were to ask them, tell me 3 things about yourself, not one of them will mention housework. When I first came to India nearly 8 years ago, I remember having a conversation with one of my linguistics professors, and they told me that, women hold all the power in the house. And while some people find this oppressive, it can actually be empowering because women feel a sense of pride in owning their responsibilities. And so I can understand. But I also wonder if these same girls had the time and or access to take pride and ownership over something else, how would they respond? Does it really boil down to access to ideas, mentors, and resources? Is that why so many of these girls want to be teachers, and now many of them want to be sports coaches as well? Recently, when I was in Bombay, I met someone who lived in a beautiful house in Malabar Hill, a very posh kind of apartment, and in spite of having all these financial resources and status, she spent most of her life fulfilling the obligation of being a daughter, a wife, and a mother. She and I started talking, and she told me that she was finally ready to do something for herself. But I really wondered if she had the mental and emotional strength to actually be independent and assertive. In her voice, I could really hear these same girls who live on the periphery in the slums and chawls of Delhi. What is it about duty, responsibility, and obligation that holds so many women, me included, in a space where we feel we have compromised our sense of independence? I'm aware that society influences the way we act and the way we think. But at some point in my life, I've realized that there has to be a paradigm shift. And so I leave you with this thought, because I'm not going to speak for too much longer, that we can create and demand new rules. Although it is hard to change attitudes, cultural pressures, and ultimately the way we think and are taught to think, perhaps it's time. I believe we do have the power to stand up and make some noise. And that is a responsibility that I can feel proud of. Thanks.